Bricks and Minifigs is your one-stop shop for all things Lego. Hit the link below to find a store near you.
I'm Roxanne. I'm Hot Blocks on Instagram. I have built the Chamber of Secrets trench run because Harry Potter and Star Wars are basically the same exact story. And in my brain, this is what comes out. There is Harry Skywalker and Ron Solo, and Voldemort and Vader are the same. And so I decided that this needed to be a thing. And here is my crazy brain.
This is such a fun, creative layout because we've seen a lot of Star Wars builds, we've seen a lot of Harry Potter builds, but we haven't seen anything like this before. So once you kind of had the concept and the idea, where did you start with the build?
I actually started with the X-Wing. Originally, that was just going to be the single mashup. And then I thought, what's Harry doing? And he needed, something. And Voldemort obviously came to mind. And the trench run from Star Wars is classic. So I built the TIE Fighter next for Voldemort. And then the next two TIE Fighters were like, well, Darth Vader had his stormtroopers, and so Voldemort has to have his Death Eaters. And I want to say I did not make it Slytherin because not all Slytherin are bad. It is definitely Death Eaters. So those were next, and then I thought, okay, now I need to make a scene for it. So the snakeheads came in to make it a Chamber of Secrets, and then the Basilisk, and my good friend Jen Smart from Lego Masters actually helped me with Salazar Slytherin. I have to give credit to Jen for this. I handed her the Basilisk about a week ago, and we added that together. And then yesterday morning, I built the Millennium Falcon, and it made its debut right as the show opened yesterday. So
A little bit of last-minute building out here.
a little bit of last-minute building. I do have to give a shout-out to all my custom printing from Brick Love. They did all of my Death Eater printing. And then Tricked Out Bricks did all of my custom stands. I gave him dimensions and heights, and he did a beautiful job on those. And then I have a friend that helped me with my lighting, and it turned out exactly as my brain envisioned it. I am a little on the crazy side, but, aren't we all? So...
No, I think it's a super fun scene here. Another thing that catches your eye is the classic trench run greebling that people like to do. Yeah. So take us through some of the elements and things you've included on the bottom layer here.
I decided that, you needed to represent a little bit of both Harry Potter and Star Wars. So there's Nearly Headless Nick, there's Ollivanders, there's the Quidditch pitch. From Star Wars, there's an AT-AT, there's a Millennium Falcon, there is 3 Triwizard Tournament Cups, there's sharks and cats and dogs and chickens and fish and parrots, there's a baby Harry Potter, there's a Tin Man, there's really just, there's a dragon from the Gringotts Bank.
Anything that kind of fit the general color scheme here.
Well, yeah, when you have all the shades of gray. There's even a banana. I pretty much just looked for all the fun, super cool elements that are in the gray tones and then went with it from that. And here we are.
Now, you mentioned the kind of like snakehead type sculptures in the back here. What are some of the elements you used in there as you kind of got the shaping down right for those in the background?
You have to have, it is brick slopes, so you do have to have as much fun with slope shapes as you possibly can. So the I wanted the back wall of the Chamber Secrets to be very organic and very Chamber Secrets, and I wanted the floor to be very Death Star, very industrial. So the two different styles of greebling, I think, hopefully made for a fun, distinction between the two. So, yeah, just lots of slopes. Lots of slopes. Is it brick slopes? You got to represent Cody.
100%. There you go. Do you know how long this whole layout is?
This is 6 of the 48 by 48 base plates. So I believe that is a little over 7.5 feet. I believe this is an 8-foot table, and it's really tight. So, at least 7.5 minimum. So 3 mods if you're going train.
Now, for the various fighters themselves here, were any of those pieces difficult to find in these colors to kind of get that color scheme like you wanted?
Yes. Dark red is very difficult to source in certain parts. The ever famous large wedge, that's always a hard in the dark red because most of them are broken by now. And I needed 8 of them. 4 for the Falcon and 4 for the X-Wing. Other than that, rest of it came together relatively easy. I had to obviously make some design decisions in coloring because certain parts were not available in certain shapes. But I was able to, pretty easily find what I needed, and Bricklink is always our friend. So, yeah, I'm still waiting for either a dark red or a red cone for the cockpit. But other than that, yeah, I think it. Oh, and a gold dome would always be nice. But I think relatively most of the parts, were pretty easy. Had to make sure I had a couple of golden snitches as the hood ornaments on the Falcon also.
Very nice. Now, with a build like this that combines 2 very large fan bases, very passionate fan bases, what has the public reaction been like as people come around and check out the build here?
It's really nice. The kids sometimes don't get the Star Wars reference. Some of the guys, I kind of get sacrilege for the Star Wars fans, but for the most part, thank goodness it's been well received and loved. So it's been fun to watch the kids' reactions and honestly let them see all the seek and find of the hidden objects has been really fun. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And you mentioned, I think, your Instagram at the beginning so people can see more of your work there and kind of keep up with what you're doing in the future. What types of stuff do you post there?
I build everything from classic castle to Star Wars and Harry Potter. Last year I did a Death Star, a Hogwarts Death Star. I have a castle also over here, and then I have done, a few smaller builds. But I'm kind of all over the board. I love Harry Potter and I love Star Wars, but I am always been a classic castle girl too. So, there's that. So you can't go wrong with anything really, and I mean it's all good. It's Lego. You can't lose. So
I love that. Well, keep up the good work here. Thank you so much for taking us through the build. I appreciate it.
Thank you.